The past couple days, I'm sure, or weeks, I guess, I'm sure you guys have seen, I'm kind of just falling apart, one piece at a time. Whether it's my back, my toe, my ears, my face, my stomach, my leg, whatever it is, really. I'm not quite sure, but I've consulted a lot of doctors lately, and the biggest mistake I've ever heard come out of a doctor's mouth was a couple of days ago, or like a week or two ago, when I went to go see a doctor. And I said, all right, doc, I've got this wrong with me, this wrong with me, this wrong with me, and this wrong with me. And she goes, I can't treat any of that, and I don't know who can. So, first off, that's just scary. Like, you go into a doctor to like get help and support and like love and whatever you want from them, and the doctor just goes, yeah, sorry, no clue. Go find someone else. So she gave me 4 different cards for 4 different doctors. And I've consulted 2, and with little to no success. So the back was great because she just told me to go see a chiropractor. The chiropractor told me to go see a doctor. You would expect that there would be a better system for that. Like they would call each other, let each other know that they're both going to mess up and say something stupid. But I decided that the worst is when I went to go get my toe fixed yesterday. So I've been having an issue with an ingrown toenail, which is always fun. And that sucked. It's really bad and painful. But the worst part is the doctor didn't tell me he was going to perform surgery until he popped me down in his sketchy little office with a lazy boy. I sat in a lazy boy and got surgery yesterday. You know what that's like? It's not fun. He's like, oh, I'm just going to recline it. Like it's like some advanced little suite they have inside of a doctor's office. I'm sitting there confused because I'm like falling back and I'm comfortable, really comfortable. But the issue is that I'm about to have surgery done. So he goes, all right, so I'm just going to stick this needle in you and give you some anesthetic to kill the pain. And I go, that's great, so I won't feel anything. And he goes, well, I wouldn't say that. I'm like, what do you mean you wouldn't say that? And he goes, well, I'm going to have to, shove the needle in. It's going to be really painful, man. Really, really painful. Like super painful. Like really painful. And I go, thanks? I don't know what to say to that. Like, do you just like, oh yeah, okay, pain? Yeah, I'm just Superman, so whatever. And I get over there and he sticks the needle in my foot and it hurts so bad. Like really bad. And I go, all right, we're done, right? And he goes, well, we'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll let you know. And so I go, okay, sounds good. So then he comes back in 5 minutes. By the way, this doctor's weird. Like he's not talking like a normal person. Like I was trying to have a conversation with him as he's injecting a knife into my foot. And this is like the same face the entire time, just, oh yeah, is that how it feels? Oh man, that blows. And he just didn't care. There was no like a disconnect or something. And so he goes, all right, I'm come back 5 minutes later, and he's got the needle next to my foot again. He's like, all right, so tell me if this hurts. He starts poking the foot, and it hurts so bad again. And I'm like, dude, what did you put in me? And he goes, oh, I don't know, I should probably check. You didn't check before? Like, that's nuts. These are not real doctors. I assumed every time I got into a doctor that Ashton Kutcher's going to jump out. No, that's not okay. But so he goes, all right, so that hurts. We're going to give you more anesthetic, more painkillers. I'm like, great. I'm going to turn into an addict by the time we're done. One needle to another, right? So he goes, all right, we're going to inject you again. He injects it again, but he does it from a different angle. So I'm like, all right, it should work this time. And it doesn't. So I'm just like, you know what, screw it. We're going with it. You're just going to cut my toe open. So he goes, all right, fine. So he like pulls in this like medieval torture chamber like thing, and he's got like bundled in like, when you go and buy meat at Safeway and they put it in like paper, like they put it in paper and then they put duct tape around it. He had that, but for tools for surgery. He's a doctor. So he opens it up and he rolls it out like he's trying to impress me, like ta-da! And I'm not okay with this. And I'm like looking at my mom and I'm like, what are you doing? Why'd you take me here? And she's like, sorry, you did good for me. That doesn't mean anything. So he gets out these tools and he's like, all right, I'm gonna cut your toe open now. And I'm like, thanks for letting me know, man, that's really great. Now I'm just gonna wanna watch. So I look for the first couple seconds, I can't feel anything, and he slices it from like this long. Like, and I'm like looking at it like, and then I'm like looking at my mom and I'm like, and her face is worse than mine. I'm like, and she's like, oh! I'm like, Mom, make eye contact with me. Don't look at it. So I make eye contact with my mom. I'm for sure that I'm secure about this. And I'm like, all right, we're just gonna keep eye contact the entire time. And every once in a while, I'd see her go like this. She'd look at it, oh no, you're fine, sweetie. You're so good. So eventually he like stops and he's like, all right, I'm done. And I look down at my foot and there's like this much bandaging. And it's all red. All of it's red. And I have been just profusely bleeding for like 10 minutes. But I can't feel it. But at the same time, I can't feel my head. I feel like that was a side effect of the profuse bleeding. So then he goes, so keep this wrapped up at least through tonight. And I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm not going to take the bandages off, Dr. Smart One. Like, I mean, just like, you just think that these doctors be more prepared. So I have it wrapped up, and it's just red. The cloth is red, so I put on a sock. I walk out, and he's like, have a nice day. I'm like, yeah, you too, dude. And like, we're never coming back here ever again, ever. And she's like, fine. But before he did that, he threatened. It wasn't a threat. It was a doctor threat, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not threatening you, but don't do this, or I'm going to cut you open again. So what he does is he says, don't do any sort of like extreme toe movements, or anything that would like hurt the toe. Like I'm going around just kicking brick walls, that's not like my agenda here. But he looks at me and he goes, if you do, and you have to come back here and I see you again, I'm gonna cut the toe down the middle. And like showed me that he was gonna do it down the middle. And he goes, then I'm gonna cut into your foot again, and I'm just gonna pull it all out. You're gonna have no toenail. And not a good thing to tell me, because now I'm not gonna like put my toe near anything. So like lately I've been like walking with left foot first, like making sure that I don't do anything. And so he goes, so I'm just gonna pull it all out. So I've decided that if that does happen, I'm gonna pull a George Washington. I'm gonna get a fake toenail made from walrus tusk. That's what I've decided. And well, thank you very much.